All right, it's talk time now. The reinstatement of Ali Modu Sharif as chairman of the People's Democratic Party by the Court of Appeal is already creating ripples in the party. And the PDP leaders in support of the Ahmed Makarfi faction insist they will appeal the judgment and call for a stakeholders meeting at the International Conference Center in Abuja.
Well, the Nigerian police authorities barricaded the venue of the meeting, forcing the party leaders to move the meeting to the Ekiti governor's residence in Nasukoro, where they arrived at the plan to move the party forward. And Doshima Abu is here to tell us all about it.
The International Conference Center, venue of the stakeholders meeting, called by the Markafi faction of the PDP, shut down by the Nigerian police. They were strategically positioned to prevent any PDP member from gaining entry into the premises. But this didn't in any way dampen the spirit of the party faithful. Quickly, they made alternate plans and converged at this venue to commence the business of the day, but not without a few choice words on the actions taken by the police.
Nigeria had to send a contingent of over 300 soldiers to go and restore democracy in Gambia. And the meeting we were about to have was a meeting that would have deepened democracy. And there is no way that follows. There is no way that place would have been sealed up by the government if the president were around.
Our judicial is being assaulted and assaulted every day. Their houses are attacked very late at night, and the judges are being harassed. So we are not surprised at what we are seeing today.
The main aim of this meeting is to come up with the faction's next line of action after the Court of Appeal judgment that upheld Ali Modu Sharif as the authentic chairman of the party. They unanimously agreed to go to the Supreme Court to challenge the judgment. They've also passed vote of confidence on Senator Markafi.
The meeting reiterates that the party's constitution stipulates the process of democratically electing officers of the party and therefore emphatically rejects any imposition, such as those being illegally paraded as officers of the party by Senator Ali Modu Sharif.
Whether Supreme Court too will not be supreme enough to dispense of this matter ASAP. Part of justice is to give justice on time.
The outcome of this stakeholders meeting indicates that the appeal for unity made by the party chairman, recently authenticated by the appeal court, has fallen on deaf ears. Sadly, this means that there is no immediate end in sight to the crisis rocking the party. Doshima Abu, TVC News, Abuja.
Right, that's the background to the story now. Joining us is the PDP chieftain, Ola Akpena. It's good to have you join us this morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
And we also have a lawyer, Adeshina Ogunlano. Thank you very much. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Morning.
All right, now let me start with Ola in here. The party has, or PDP has, a constitution that is the foundation to the running of all of its institutions and the processes and all of that. For there to be any vacuum or for there to be any leeway where courts or even anybody, any member of the political party takes advantage of, do you think that the constitution has been inadequate in really spelling out some things that to give room for anybody to take advantage of anything?
Thank you so much. Well, let me start by saying that there is no constitution that covers everything. You don't envisage every issue that will crop up. But for all I care is that people usually want to take advantage of the law, the rules. You want to dance around, you know. You want to take law into your hands sometimes. As for the PDP constitution, I think the constitution is perfect in a way, though not totally perfect, but the question is that have we really implemented faithfully the letters and provisions as contained in the constitution presently? So that is my response to that.
Okay.
We have a good constitution, but we have bad people, who always want to dance around the system, just like Nigerian constitution.
Okay.
You have people who want to see where they can, when they see a lacuna, they want to come in, they want to take advantage of such lacuna. So for me, there is no bad law.
Okay.
It's only bad people who doesn't want to implement bad law.
Okay, as a lawyer, additional as a lawyer, no bad law, just bad people. But the law is an ass, really. You're trying to take advantage of some loopholes, if I'm right.
Oh, well, I will neither agree that the law is an
No,
ass.
confirm, okay.
The law is not an ass, and I will not agree. Well, since he might have been speaking, I'm talking of Chivola Aquino, he might have been speaking euphemistically. When you say bad people, I think it would be in the sense of not maybe following through the spirit of the law, just merely looking at the letters of the law. One thing is this, the law is subject to multiple interpretations. And the way we see life, usually we see from the point of our interest. The way we see life, we see situations, we assess things, we assess it in terms of our perception of interest. And now, the problem or the challenge is that, as you are just about 4 people here, if you were to describe the singular cup, you'll be shocked that we may even have more than 4 interpretations. Now, and you have to carry yourself before an arbiter. The arbiter itself, why that arbiter not the arbiter, and just an ordinary person will have an interpretation that could even be different from all the 4 of us. So you try, you really can't have, like you said, you can't really have a perfect constitution. You have a workable constitution if the goodwill is there. You know, there are some things in relationships when you make allowances. When you make allowances and you want to forge ahead, once you are more harmonized in your basic interest, there are things you just overlook in the interest of either the group or the marriage or the family and all that. So it's not really a matter of maybe bad people, let's say divergent interests.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to this. I think I like the dimension it's going. But let's take a break and then we come back to dwell more on this. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast. Right, if you're just joining us, you're watching TVC Breakfast, and we are looking at the PDP Leadership Crisis or tussle in here. It's been on for some time, and it has really been calling for questions from so many segments in Nigeria. We have with us in the studio a PDP chieftain, Ola Akmeno, joining us, and we also have a lawyer, Additional Okulano, right now. Now, let me stay with you, Additional. A lot of people we've spoken with, some experts have said that the judiciary, to have come up with conflicting judgments in the first instance, gave room to part of these issues in the People's Democratic Party. What do you say about that?
That looks a bit, one, general question, and then secondly, trying to just look for fault where the wrong place to look for. You approach a court, the truth of the matter is that most of us are yet to come to terms to obeying the law in all ramifications. It's not just before you are taken to the court or the tribunal, even after. You have a party, you have a constitution. It itself shows that this is how you want to be regulated. But incidentally, people have diverse interpretation and motive to it. And now when there's conflict, then you go to court. And the court, one way or the other, gives its ruling. Fortunately, maybe at the lower courts, at the lower higher courts, let me put it, at the lower higher courts, like the federal high courts, like the state high courts, you could have that conflict. Because like I said, one judge is different from another judge. If Chief Aquino here and myself were to be judges and we are sitting on the same panel, we may not even agree on the same thing. But you are at the court of appeal. We shouldn't be casting our political problems on the courts. The court has decided it one way or the other. And you could see some of the reaction, as if there had been no court pronouncement.
No, I'm even talking from the perspective of where two federal high courts give conflicting judgments on who should be chairman of the People's Democratic Party in the first place.
Yes, that is not quite, let's say, right. You know, the thing is that even in the legal profession, we've been worried over time, maybe about 6, 7, 8, 10 years now, about maybe there will be one division sitting at Enugu, another division sitting in Osogbo, and then maybe on the same issue. What one will not really know is whether it is simultaneous or maybe one precedes. Ordinarily, if one judgment of court and the facts are the same, if one ruling or judgment of court, let's say in Abakaliki or Enugu, is on the 1st of May, it should not be right that on the 3rd of May or the 15th of June, the same, because our courts are one. When you say Federal High Court is one, whether in Osogbo and Abeokuta is one. Ordinarily, in this modern age, it should not be right to say that the court in Abakaliki is not aware of what the court in Osogbo has done, because of even wide reportage of political affairs. Yeah. But why I'm not going to be too specific in that. Assume that I have the specific details to know about time and about the parties and about the council. But generally...
No, in this case, the Port Harcourt, the High Court in Port Harcourt, Federal High Court ruled, and afterwards, Abuja now ruled after the Port Harcourt, so...
Like I said, with due respect, as a lawyer, I would like to talk on exactitudes. I would not want to talk on what I would say general suppositions. If I know if it's a party or it's an institution I'm particularly interested in, I will not be coming strongly on the judges. But generally, even outside of the PDP, it's been noted that courts, federal courts in particular, they have this penchant over some time now of giving conflicting judgments on the same issue, and you now find interested parties, maybe political parties or companies, you now say, as if you are doing forum shopping, let me go to where I think it will favor me. And then if somebody has, it's like if you have invited two of us to your maybe party, and you are inviting both of us as special guest of honor or chairman, both of us with my letter of invitation, I could say I'm the chairman, and you could say it's the chairman. And so that area, I think the judiciary itself is concerned, and I think there are some sanctions within the judiciary, but this is the system, to correct the seminars and all this are being held.
So there's a particular judge in the eye of the storm in this particular issue of PDP, where we have conflicting reports. Okon Abang, even during the Ondo case, it was also featured prominently with the issue of who is the chairman and who is not. Is the convention right or not? It was also featured prominently.
Yes, I know, but you know there are petitions written against Abang to the NJC, and it's been exculpated. That's the little I know. But like I said, I like to talk on exactitude, on firm ground.
Okay, let's bring in Ola in here. We have heard lots of people within, even your party chieftains have said that the crisis in PDP now is caused by external forces, especially from APC. We hear, even yesterday, we spoke with one party official. Exactly. And he said that Ali Modu Sharif he used the word mole. He said he's a mole of APC and PDP. What do you say about that?
Well, I cannot but agree with that postulation, particularly the conduct of Nigerian police in sealing off the International Conference Center when meetings of eminent Nigerians, senators, past governors, current governors, people who are men of substance, are about to hold a meeting, and I don't want to, I just can't fathom what
in their defense, the police came out with the commissioner of police in Abuja came out yesterday and said, okay, that the Ali Modu Sharif faction was to hold a meeting in that particular ICC.
I think the commissioner of police is just being economical with the truth. The point is that I wouldn't want to believe that before that very day. I had always been of the opinion that we have individuals within our party who are just being driven by inordinate ambition to be this and that. That was what was driving the crisis. But with the conduct of the place that very day, I want to believe that the government of the day, the APC, surely have an interest in saying that PDP is decimated. But then that will not augur well for our democracy. So whoever says there are third parties, I think I'm beginning to align with them to that. So whatever the police tells you is hush-hug, you know.
Okay, all right. Additionally, let's talk about the judgment, the Port Harcourt, the Court of Appeals judgment. You have 2-1. Majority is saying Alimadu Sheriff is the chairman. A minority judgment by Justice Orji, saying that for Alimadu Sheriff to have subjected himself to the party constitution, it said that he came for that conviction, that even though he absented himself on purpose, that because he subjected himself to that conviction, then he's binding by the rules or the determination and resolve of the outcome of the convention.
I will, with due respect, I will beg to disagree with that interpretation, however attractive it may look like. The question is that, can a group of people form an agreement to disobey the law? Now, or to do a criminal purpose? That is, if there is a law, that this is not just procedure, there is a law. The constitution of the PDP is their law. So assuming that by law, by your law, you can only make maybe a 60-year-old person the PDP chairman. That's by your law. Now, in agreement, without suspending that constitution.
Excuse me, sir, are you disagreeing with the
Minority
judgment?
Of course, that's what I'm reacting.
Well, I want to disagree with you.
Okay,
sir.
let him finish.
Let him
point.
finish.
Okay, so
let him through.
please go on.
Yes, my understanding of it is this: that look, fundamentally,
Yes.
should you have this process? Is this the process recognized under your constitution? Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, if this is the process and you have not done it, the mere fact that I participated, by whichever degree of participation, if we could put it that way, now, will you have said that particular outcome of that thing is in line with your constitution? It may be morally reprehensible. You are doing a flip-flop, but the truth of the matter is that, is this what our law says? That's
But the
what
Constitution recognized the deputy chairman acting instead of the chairman.
That's
If
what
the
I'm saying.
chairman was not available and the deputy oversaw the affairs of the
convention.
party,
No, what I understand
Yes.
from my own reading
Yes.
from the reports we have generally is that, look, you do not have a caretaker committee. That is what I understand. That you do not have a caretaker committee. This is how your party is run. I'm not a member of their party or any member of any party at any rate. So now this is how your party is run. This is how your leadership is. You understand? And I think that's what this majority, the two of them, this is what they are saying, that you have not followed it. By whichever exigency that could have come up, there could be a strict interpretation of the law. Like I said, judges are even lawyers themselves, becoming judges. It depends on your jurisprudence, where you are coming from. Some people are sociological, some people are realist, some people are positivist, Austinian, hard. You say, this is the law. Once you've not done, like somebody was writing on Facebook yesterday, that how could Yemi Osinbajo, Senate Advocate of Nigeria, acting president, could have written a letter about somebody being appointed on the letterhead of the vice president. Now, this is not what the Constitution says. That is the president who is supposed to say, when you are acting president, you should have either the letterhead of the president or acting president. So this is law.
Okay.
This is depending on that perspective.
All right.
And the other judge who said no, after you are, like I said, it's attractive. But for me, as a person, I would take more of the majority, being more attractive than that particular.
Okay, Ola.
Okay.
Yes, I'm quite amazed that Barrister Additional, who initially was skeptical about doing a forensic analysis about the judiciary.
Okay,
Excuse me, sir.
let me put you on hold, sorry. We'll go on a break and then we come back for you to make your point. I wouldn't want you to
Please, so
start
that we don't
and
scuttle
halfway.
your thoughts. Okay.
All right, let's go on a break. We come back to this. Stay with us. Right, we're discussing the leadership tussle in the People's Democratic Party in Nigeria. We have PDP chieftain in the studio, Olakweno, with us in here. We also have a lawyer, Adeshino Okunlano. Now, before we went on break, you were making a point.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my point is that Barrister Adeshino earlier claimed not to have certain facts about certain judicial process. And as a judicial officer, he doesn't have facts about that. But all of a sudden, is now having facts as to the procedure in PDP, even though he claims not to be a member of PDP. Is now telling us this is not in the concern of the party, that is not in the concern. Anyway, for the records,
Yes.
our constitution of PDP is clear. We have a constitution that vested enormous power in the National Convention of the party. The issue of caretaker committee can be established by the constitution, by the convention. If you go to the relevant section of the constitution, it says the convention can dissolve, can do so many things, including creating committees. The committees that were to be so created were not specified in those sections of the constitution. And that gives the convention a lot of
Room for
leeway,
interpretation.
power.
A lot of free hand.
So the constitution of the caretaker committee is in perfect tandem with our constitution. Then talking about Alimodu Sheriff. Alimodu Sheriff only came in to complete the tenure of Bamanga Tuko, because section 47 subsection 6 of our constitution states that where an officer of the party is removed, resigned, or could not perform the function of his office for any reason whatsoever, the party shall appoint a replacement from that zone which produces that officer, pending the time
The expiration of the tenure.
of the tenure of office. Bamanga Tuko came in as an elected national chairman 2012. He resigned. Mazu came in still from the northeast. Mazu left. Then it now become expedient that somebody from northeast should come and complete it. So that was what brought in
Alimodu Sheriff.
Alimodu Sheriff. So legally, his tenure expires 3 months after, and it was in compliance with that provision of the Constitution that a national convention was conveyed by him, Alimodu Sheriff. Of course, he cannot unilaterally do that. The working committee will discuss it, approve of a timetable, and it has to be ratified by the NEC, which was the highest ruling organ of the body of the party. The NEC approves of it. Alimodu
And the
Sheriff,
board of trustees gives
the board
approval.
of trustees, everybody. Alimodu Sheriff was the sole candidate at that national convention because they ensured that forms were not made available to any other contestants. You get what I'm saying? Of course, it was a perfect arrangement between him and those who are prodding him there. Then he went for screening. He did everything. But then, just like Fayoshe said yesterday, if you already have a plan to marry somebody and all of a sudden you discover is HIV positive or have hepatitis B, you can as well take a second look
Take
at
your
the whole
proposal
arena
off the table.
of the table. So, the moment Ali Modu Sheriff got the wind that the convention will not go as he wanted to be, that is, elect substantive officers, and that the party is opting for caretaker committee, he requested to be made the chairman of that caretaker committee. And they told him, look, Mr. Man, you cannot be a judge in your own case. You wanted to be the national chairman. This caretaker committee we are putting in place is for a reason known to all members of the party. You can as well step aside when another convention is convened, indicate your interest. Then he went and organized a press conference therein in Port Harcourt, saying he has cancelled the convention, a power he doesn't have. You can only call off a convention with the concurrence of one, the convener of the convention. And the convener of the convention is the National Executive Committee, even though it will be initiated by the working committee who are in charge of day-to-day running of the party. But they don't have absolute power unless the NEC concord. So for you to call off a convention, you have to call an emergency NEC to call it off.
All right.
That is that. Then I want to come to the judgment.
Yes.
This minority judgment. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that when there are 3 judges sitting on a bench over a case, and one judge gives a dissenting judgment, particularly, I wouldn't know whether Barrister Additional is already in possession of the judgment, to the extent that it's now telling us the judge, because it's like telling me the judge erred in law. I mean, that is not fair to the judge. You see, let me tell you, sir, the 2 judges, I'm not here to cast a passion on anybody. They wrote their judgment handwritten. This is a judgment that has been reserved for judgment for more than 2 months. This woman that gave dissenting judgment had her own judgment typewritten. And she delivered it for more than 1.5 hours. The other 2 judges, under 25 minutes. We know what is happening. We know what is happening in this country. The judiciary is under serious scrutiny. Only God knows who must have shown them some files of their misdeed. I'm telling you, I'm not running away from that. Definitely somebody is muscling somebody. But then, I know that all those sharp practices is not a commonplace in the Supreme Court. And that is why we have decided to appeal that judgment, because we felt that we saw the hand of Esau
and the voice of Jacob. Okay, let's bring additional in here. There's a stay of execution as we speak, according to the chairman of the Governors Forum. Walk us through the process. And I'm sure you want to react to 1 or 2 things that the gentleman said.
I'm just smiling.
Okay, and then walk us through the process, the stay of execution, and to the Supreme Court.
Well, thank you so much. The gentleman said he's not a lawyer. Having, as I say in law, having warned himself of that, he ought not have gone ahead to say all some of the things he said, and especially bordering on speculations and all that. Somebody must have shown some people some files, and then as a layman in law, is entitled to deduce that, if somebody spoke for 1.5 hours, another person spoke for 25 minutes, that means the person who spoke for 25 minutes had little sense to say, but the person with 1.5 hours reading time had more. But as lawyers listen to him will just be smiling, even if they are in support of his contention. But that could not have been the reasons in law. and I wouldn't want to join issues personal and all that.
Okay.
And so, as per the issue of going to Supreme Court, I think the party or whoever is aggrieved has the right, and it's a constitutionally guaranteed right of going to court of I think even there was an appeal from the lower court to the court of appeal, and it's ding dong. Sometimes you even win at the lower court, you win at the court of appeal, you get to the Supreme Court and you lose. You understand? It has happened several times, so you keep on the process, and who knows what happens there. The only thing is that even when the Supreme Court gives judgment, you still hardly do you find Nigerians not still criticizing it. They will say, we know what happened, we know what happened, we know what happened. Maybe the loser here today will not become the winner there, and then the winner today will become the loser there. And then instead of saying, well, the way these people have seen it, the way they have seen it, and all that kind of thing. As for the stay of execution, it's allowed. Once you have an appeal, you try to file a stay of execution. So there's something we also call stay of proceedings and all that. That's more procedural in the context of what you are doing. But when you are saying you are stay of execution, you are just praying that, look, given that our system is hierarchical, so when you say there is a judgment given, the execution of same should not be hastened because of my right of appeal. Who knows whether the appeal, from the way I've packaged my appeal, it looks that it's not a frivolous appeal. It's weighty. I'm not saying necessarily I must win the appeal, but that what if you have now gone ahead to execute, and you know the implication of executing some judgment is that it could almost be irreversible. It could be in some circumstances. Cases are different. So why don't you hasten a bit and allow? And usually you give undertaking that you expedite action on your appeal, that you not drag foot, that you will not be guilty of delay and all that. So it's okay. And sometimes the lower court will reject it. And many of the times they do reject it. The particular court that gave the particular
they can
judge.
Reject the stay of execution?
Yeah, they can.
Oh,
then
okay.
you still go and canvass your issues at the court that have tried though, at the lower court that gave the order. Please stay. Allow the stay of execution while I timelessly pursue my appeal. Right. So if they refuse, you still have the right to go on there. Depending on the lawyers, depending on the conditions, they will know what to do.
Okay. We'll still come back to this. Let's go on a break and we come back to do more on this topic before we round off. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast.
You're watching TVC Breakfast. It is talk time. We are looking at the leadership tussle going on, rocking the PDP, and if the party can come back as a worthy opposition. We have with us in the studio PDP chieftain Ola Akpeno. And a lawyer also is here with us, Adeshino Ogunlano. Many thanks, gentlemen, for staying with us still. So, Ola, let's come to you now. If the organs of the PDP, the Governors Forum, the Lawmakers, Ex-Ministers Forum, the Lawmakers Forum, the Board of Trustees, and all the organs, the working organs, are with the Caretaker Committee. If the Supreme Court were to rule, just work with me here. If the Supreme Court were to rule, then it's okay. Alimadu Sharif is still the chairman. Will these organs now work with him?
Well, thank you so much. Well, let's leave that. That is speculative. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross that. You see, because the party does not make the people. It is the people that makes the party. Alimadu Sharif has not been with us right from 1998. This party was built from the scratch by eminent Nigerians, and they work around the clock to make the party what it is today. And to God's glory, Alimadu Sharif is not even up to 2 years old or 3 years old in the party. So if the court says it is Alimadu Sharif, then we all join the party, right? Individually, but when that time comes, we'll take appropriate decision. That is not for us to discuss on air. So let's wait and see.
The family will know how to settle.
Oh, sure.
It's always a family affair.
We'll
But let me stay with you, Ola here. Now, we cannot separate the issue of political parties from ideologies. A lot of people have often said that, well, political parties in Nigeria don't really have ideologies, and that's the foundation to which you carry out your projects and programs and all of that, and manifestos. Your political party had styled itself as the biggest political party in Africa at the time, and so on.
And so forth.
Yes. So when it comes to ideologies, how much of ideology does the PDP have?
Yeah, we do have ideology, you know. The problem is that most people who rush to this political party are not ideologically minded. People don't even read the manifesto of the party. I joined PDP in 1998 because the constitution, the manifesto of PDP supports a market-driven economy. And I believe in a market-driven economy because I believe market-driven economy unleash the potentials of citizens. It gives those who can make the sky unleash their potential, and those who want to stay on ground remains there. So I joined PDP and I have never jumped boat. I have never been given any serious appointment because I didn't join the party because of appointment in the first instance. Of course, I won't run away if I'm given one. But then, you see, it is not that this party doesn't have ideological leaning. It is quite unfortunate that we have people who see politics as business instead of looking at politics as a vehicle to minister to the welfare of the people. Rather, majority see politics as a vehicle to minister to their personal need. They want to amass wealth, bamboozle the people with all form of lies, and unfortunately, our political system has not really evolved like some other advanced countries. Even look at what happened in America. I'm sorry to say that as matured as American political system is, it's still subject to some manipulation. But then, I'm not going to agree totally that by the time you go into the manifesto of this party, you see the ideological leaning. But are people in the party, do they believe in this ideology? Are they ideologically inclined? Do they even read the manifesto of the party they are joining? Some of them want to join because my cousin is the national chairman.
But the party itself is supposed to be able to hold the people accountable, ensure that the people work with the ideology of the political party, especially if you're going to contest for any office, if the party owns its machinery.
Well, you are very much correct, but you will agree with me that in this country, what we lack is we don't have any serious institution.
Right.
We don't have serious institution. Our security institutions are very weak. The educational institutions are very weak. Everything in this country, we build it around individual. We don't have any institutions. So, and people coming into these systems are Nigerians. What do you have today? A lot of people move from PDP to APC, a lot of them. When they are in PDP, because PDP has been ruling now, PDP is bad, is corrupt, the moment they move to APC, they become saints. EFCC runs after them when they are in PDP. The moment they jump to APC, you see everything goes down. So they don't have charges anymore.
And vice versa.
Yes, you know, that is the problem. So the problem is not about the party itself. It's about the people. Okay. It's about the people. It's about the people, and I'm praying that we will have leadership in this country that will be so serious about taking this country to the next level by building institutions.
All right. Okay, let's have your take on the issue of opposition, the ideology of the PDP as a worthy opposition, even if they scale through this hurdle, the leadership hurdle.
Well, it's going to be a bit difficult because even Chief Akwena here has identified that the people who make up the party, not just his own party, but people make up the party. The party as an institution is really not really strong by its own admission, and it's not just its own party alone. Incidentally, what do you want to oppose? Like he said, most people in political parties are there not for service. Even the issue of ideology, I will not stress this. The ideology is there, just there on the ground for you to pick. What do our people need? If you are able to provide service, you are already pursuing a particular ideology. Let's say welfareism is an ideology. So if you are somebody who is doing that, you say we are doing something. Now the issue is that the PDP can it really serve as an opposition? With due respect and without meaning to hurt anybody's sensitivity, the question is that if you are being a buccaneer or being a Viking, a pirate, and you are now asking you to become a farmer, it's going to be difficult. When I say a pirate goes to the high sea, he's not the owner of the vessel, he's not the owner of the content of the vessel, he just hijacks it and takes it. Suddenly, condition, whether something changes and the another go back to the land and till, it's going to be difficult. If you have been in power for 16, and you know the famous, there was a party chieftain many years ago was saying that they only invited Bolegi to come and eat, and he's trying to hold people's hand. So the idea of eating is not just particular to PDP. So if you have been eating, and suddenly now you have been thrown out of the kitchen, now, and you are used to that, what are you going to do? Like he said it's not particular about appointments, you want to serve another. How many people are like that? Not only in his own party, in many other parties. And that is why it's so difficult to be in opposition, because when you are in opposition and you are now appealing to people, don't worry, we will provide viable jobs. No, they say, what's happening now? Because the other person, the other party has the power, what you call patronage. And like one author says, prebendal. We practice prebender politics, where you are able to dish out appointments and jobs for the boys and all that and openings, and you are here there in the cold, and there's nothing for you to offer the people, so to say, in terms of stomach infrastructure that they want. So it's a problem, and as it is now, you could see what the PDP is doing now in Yoruba. They call Ajako Rogo. They as if whether they are self-engineered or they're being engineered, you could speak to yourself. Okay. And before I go on, before I finish, I want to briefly mention that what the police did in Abuja was very, very wrong. It was very, very wrong. Because if that gentleman gave the excuse that Bono Modche, did they do their own meeting? They didn't, from what you have read. And then people said they want to come together. They are Nigerians. Even though they have lost at the Court of Appeal, they still have a right to me. If they say they are stakeholders, are they not still stakeholders?
And even with the stay of execution, really.
Even without that, people say we want to move. We've lost at the. Let's meet together to strategize. How is that a threat to PDP?
Because the meeting could even be a meeting for us to see how we can strategize to support the other one.
And come together, So it is actually it's unnecessary. And but one thing I know from experience as a lawyer, do you know that the institutions is talking about, sometimes they are not even driven by the executive. There are people who are men pleasers. There are judges who say, it's not that the governor or somebody or chairman of a local government that say, this particular rule, on this market or abattoir, give it in favor of government. There are judges who just feel, let me please the government. There are institutions that say, this is what I think the government will want, let's do it. Okay. So it's really wrong. And it's unnecessary. You are saying something like that about developing a democratic culture.
Okay, we have to round off in about a minute, but let me ask you the final question, Chief Akwena here. Moving forward, are there rooms for the possibility of the two factions as a family sitting down together to reconcile instead of going to the Supreme Court and allowing the court decide?
Well, we have to go to Supreme Court. We have to go because we have seen clearly that these individuals are acting a script to decimate the party. And most of them are not part of the system right from the word go. But then that doesn't make them a lesser member of the party. And the best we can do for ourselves as a party now is to pursue this legal thing to a logical conclusion. They started it in the first instance.
So there's no room for family
there is no
reconciliation?
room for reconciliation until after the Supreme Court judgment. Okay. After the Supreme Court judgment, if it is still possible for us to sit down, we will. If it is not possible, there are so many ways to a market. We don't have to be friends. And we need not be an enemy.
All right.
But we can do our business separately.
Okay, doing your business separately, I wouldn't want to deduce the fact that you have to form a new political party or
a
something
new
like
PDP.
that. A new
Well,
PDP or going to another political party.
Let us leave at that, and while you phrase your business of journalism, leave that to us.
Exactly.
NPDP.
All right.
No, thank you. We will consult you when we're about to do that.
Tribola Akpedo, thank you very much for coming on the program. Additional Gulano, thank you for coming as well. All right.
so much.
It's really a great note to end this program right now. Well, this will come to the end of today's edition of the program. Tomorrow, we'll be back again. Have a great day ahead. I am Mike Okwoche.
And I am Busola Tunwashe. Bye for now.